In defense of Everglade pythons, written assessment. The first thing you'll notice is your name goes at the top, first and last name. In a standard heading for an English class, you'll have your teacher. In college, it'll be your professor, the class, and the date. The title, In Defense of Everglade Pythons. And here's the prompt. Did Maris convince you that the pythons should be allowed to stay in the Everglades? Explain. Cite text evidence to support your answer. Writer's checklist. Plan before you write. Make sure you read the question carefully. And this is where we're going to start today. When I say make sure that you've read the question carefully, I mean I want you to make a checklist for yourself. You'll be graded on how well you answer the prompt. So we need to be sure that we answer all aspects of the prompt. Online, I like to copy and paste the prompt where I have a little bit more space to work. And I do that right above the text box where I'll write my answer. The first part is the question that I'm going to answer. Did Maris convince you that the pythons should be allowed to stay in the Everglades? And I'm going to keep the question whole. Then there are two other things that I need to do. Number one, I need to explain my answer. And number two, I need to cite evidence. To add some sophistication, I can also look at the rubric and add to my criteria. Python's written assessment, rubric, analysis. Analysis is the process of breaking down a quote into many cultural ideas it contains, which we refer to as propositions. We frequently use the sentence stem in other words. We'll start by looking at proficient. I analyze my evidence, breaking down key elements that relate to my claim. In advanced, in addition to proficient, I offer thorough analysis of the text with definitions of key terms. So I'm going to put this in my own words. This is just what I remember. Analyze the evidence. This is how I'm going to be graded with the sentence starter in So I'm going to use this transition, the sentence starter in other words, to analyze my evidence. That comes from the rubric. I'm also going to define key terms. And there are two kinds of key terms. Oops, I should probably do this differently. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay, key terms. So key terms, one kind of key term is literary terms. So if the question asks you about symbolism, you have to define symbolism. The other kind of key terms is like a money word or a key vocabulary word from the evidence. Okay. I'm still looking at the rubric. Claim. I offer a clear, debatable opinion. Use sentence stems like although I agree that, I disagree that. And in addition to proficient, my claim uses a key term from the evidence, highlighting the coherent connection between my opinion and the evidence that grounds my claim. All right. So I can use, okay, sorry about that. Use key terms in my claim. And evidence is the purpose. You're going to use a direct quote from the text, and we're looking for the best direct quote. Do I have that? I have cite evidence already, so that's fine. All right, so I have a checklist with 5 different things. I need to make sure that I hit all these markers. And that is how we read the question carefully. For here, I copy and paste the question and then break down each piece into a checklist, first looking at the question itself and then looking over the rubric. If I were doing this on a written exam, I would do this on a scratch piece of paper.